Hello, grown women growing wealth. It's great you've joined us for another awesome episode. And as always, I'm here with my great podcast partner, Roberta Rivella.
Good morning.
And hey, good morning. You don't know when folks are listening to this, you.
I know, but it's morning for me, so good morning.
And we are here with Day Smith. She is a productivity coach, particularly for entrepreneurs, digital organizer, and she is the founder and what fancy title did you give yourself, Day? CEO,
Yes,
intergalactic
yes. Magician.
of there we go of Simplicity by Day. So hey, it's great to have you here, Day. How you doing?
I'm fantastic. How are y'all? Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you for being here. Thank you for
Yeah,
being here.
welcome on the show.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm so excited. Being a grown woman, growing wealth. That's the platform I want to be on.
Oh,
Yes.
There
yeah.
you go. There you go.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So, productivity coach and digital organizer don't seem to go together until you realize that most of the reason you're not as productive as you want to be is you're disorganized.
This is true. This is true. This is true. So I started off as a home organizer because that's what I was doing. When I had my kids and I was working and traveling, I was like, something has to give because this I can't come home every Friday, Thursday night, and try to find this and look for this and leave my husband, my babysitter, to fend for themselves. And so organization became so important to me, and I started to create systems. And it kind of bled into my work life even more, which is where the productivity stems from because I found that not only can I be more productive at work, you can also be more productive at home and more efficient with saving time, saving money, having systems in place. And so that became really a passion of mine because I understand how busy life can get when you're a professional mom, professional entrepreneur, trying to juggle all of the things. And having efficiencies in place can be your saving grace. You can keep your sanity. And so productivity and organization go hand in hand. If you're more organized, you're more productive. And if you're more productive, you're typically more organized because you are finding out how to do things more efficiently. And then digital organizing. I mean, we live in a digital world. We all have emails and social media and systems, and especially right now with in the midst of the pandemic, a lot of us have went virtual. So now our systems are even more digital. And so organization may not be such a hindrance physically. Now you need to organize your emails, your files, your systems. And so that became even more of a need for myself. And that was something I wanted to offer my clients as well. So I have started to be more at on demanded for organizing digitally as well.
My files are a mess. I mean, I don't
We're,
even know. I got a new
no,
computer, and Daphne, I promised I'd start down the road on the Surface Pro, but it saves stuff everywhere. And like yesterday, I was looking for something. I looked for this one article in my laptop for 10 minutes. I was so pissed because
Oh,
that is a product of bad organization, right? Like 10 minutes, you spent 10 minutes on that.
yes,
Oh,
yes,
so
yes.
help us, Dave. Give us advice and
give
the
us a
scoop.
hack.
Yeah, where
Give
do
us
we
a hack.
start?
Okay, so I do like a little audit to kind of figure out these things. What are
Okay.
your points? Is it digital organization like with your files? Is it your emails? Those are the two big things. Like emails are drive people crazy. And so let's start with digital files. I do have to be honest that to get your digital files organized, you have to put in some work on the front end in order to reap the benefits later, right? It's not
Hmm.
going to just magically get better. It's kind of like working out. It's always hard at the beginning. You go to the gym for the first time, you are sore because you haven't done it before. But as you continue to do it, it gets easier. Your muscles aren't as sore. So that's the same when you look at starting an organizing project, or more importantly, creating a habit that you have
Hmm.
created before. So for digital organization, what I do is I analyze your files, help you analyze, okay, what are the buckets, what are the compartments or departments for your
Right.
business, clients, tax files, social media, images, articles, your logo. Like we figure out where your files are. And then we do a focus task of deleting all of the things that are duplicates, all of the things that are outdated. We do a huge purge, clearing your clutter. We take those files that we create and now we create folders on your computer. And now you have a clean folder of files that you need. All you have to do is plug them into those files. So, of course, you have to get in the habit once you download something or you saving a file, you have to get in the habit of actually putting it in those files. I haven't found a system that automatically does that for you on your computer, but for emails, there is something that you can.
Mhm.
But
And you
that's
can do the rules in email, right?
the rules and emails, but for your digital files, it's just a habit. It's just creating a habit, or you or your assistant to do that automatically. And for me, I will download a lot of things throughout the week, and I always take a day to go back in my downloads and either delete things or move them into those folders. So everything is in my downloaded folders, and now I can just go through and clean that up every week.
Okay.
So that is the thing that I do and I recommend. That way you're not doing it every day, or if you're doing it once a week, it's a little more manageable for your files. Now for your emails, there are systems you can use to make it a lot easier, right? You can use rules for Outlook, quick parts for Outlook that will create automations for you so that certain emails go to certain folders, certain actions take place when you get an email so that you won't have to do it. Same thing for Google. Google uses labels and filters. Same thing. You can create labels for emails. So if you were looking for that article in your email, it could have been labeled with the title, and you could just search for that title in your email, and it'll been a lot easier. It probably will take you
Okay.
seconds versus 10 minutes.
And that's
Um,
an Outlook they have labels?
in Outlook, they're called rules and quick parts.
Oh, quick parts.
That's the Microsoft name. In
Yeah.
Google, they're called labels and filters.
Okay.
Labels is labeling it. Filter is the automation for it. So yeah, that's kind of how I coach people on the digital file organization and email organization. Yeah, yeah,
Awesome.
definitely
Now,
have. Oh, go ahead.
how much time do people save when they start doing that, implementing that?
So you kind of laid the math out there for me. So you said you took 10 minutes to find an article. Okay. If it was labeled or there was a rule, it would have been 10 seconds. So just think about that. There's a quote by Benjamin Franklin that says, "For every minute spent organizing, you save an hour."
Mm,
Okay.
Kind of, I take that to heart. It sounds crazy, but you just laid it out there. You spent 10 minutes looking for an article, and you could have spent seconds and,
mhm,
and done 10 other tasks in those 10 minutes and been more efficient. So
right.
Well, I know
Not to
you
mention,
do. Go ahead.
go ahead, Deb.
No, you had mentioned about organizing your electronic files, and you said you do an audit. So, is this something where I come in and we spend 30 minutes together, or is this something that's like that you actually have, say, a PDF that I can go through and do some stuff?
I have a PDF that you can go through and check off what systems you don't have in place, right? So it's like,
Hmm.
do I not have an automation for my email? Do I have CRM? Do I have a scheduling system? So they'll give me an idea of where you are baseline. And then if
Right.
we're organizing your files, the audit is me learning about your business, learning about what's the customer journey, what are your departments, what are your
Hmm.
categories for your business so I can understand how to keep you organized.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how the audit works, you send the PDF and we go through all that, and then
hmm
we send it back to you and you figure out what needs to be done, and then you jump on the laptop or on the computer and
Well, what we do is I have VIP days for entrepreneurs, business organizing VIP days, and it can be a done with you where we do jump on together via Zoom. I remote into your computer. We look at the files. I show you examples of how to do the homework, how to do the work. We pick a couple of pain points. Like if you say, I really need to organize my digital files, that's my biggest headache. We do that in the VIP day. And then
okay.
videos on how to do the things that we don't get to go over so you can have some homework to do. And then we have two 30-minute follow-up sessions so you can revisit. Now, for the folks who say, I don't want to do any of this, I want a done for me situation, that's another service, another package that we offer where we still do the pre-work, but you're not committed to doing the VIP 4-hour session. Instead, I set up, I set you up with a more comprehensive virtual assistant to go through and create these systems for you where they can remote into your files and organize it for you. Or create you maybe like an online file system like a Google Drive or OneDrive. That way they're creating it, but you have access to it. And we go from there. And and in a couple weeks, your files are organized. You haven't done anything. You've just kind of turned over the reins, and now you can use it the way you need to be more productive.
And follow the steps.
Yep, yep, yep.
Oh, do you have any recommendations for how to organize content? Like for those of us who are putting out a lot of different types of content?
hmm well, like if you're a creative and you're doing, social media postings, I've had people that I've worked with in that way. The way you organize would still be the same. A lot of times you have themes or you have, monthly or quarterly focus topics. And so one thing I had one client who was focused on SEO, and
Mhm.
so now obviously that's a huge category. So within her folder of SEO, she would have what she wanted to talk about for the month, the resources she used, all of it in one folder, so that when she goes to that SEO file, it's all there. So she organized it by category. Then within there were like subtasks of the articles, the contacts, the graphics that she would use, the links. Everything was housed in one place. So the same way you would organize any, your digital files, you would do the same for content. You would just organize it in a way that makes sense. For her, it was based on her monthly themes. So
Hmm.
I guess for you, we would have to again do the audit and figure out, okay, how do you organize? How does your brain work? How do you do your business? And then we'll find a system that kind of works for
In a
you.
big wonky circle like
Yeah,
that.
Yes.
that's a little scary. That's a
Well,
little scary. What's going on in that head, Daphne? Ooh.
this because sometimes people don't know what works best. They're coming to me for the answers, and so I do kind of have. I'm not going to force anything on you. I try to work around your habits because it's easier for me to train you to be more organized and productive. If I'm meeting you where you are, and so I don't try to force anything that I think will work. I try to look at how you already operate and enhance it because it's you, it's you're gonna go back to your habitual, rhythm.
Mhm.
And so let's figure
Anyway,
out what
yeah,
that is, Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I heard
yeah.
somebody talking about habits yesterday, and they said the difference is between learning how to do something and making it a habit is, okay, we clean your closet, right?
Yeah.
But you got no habits. So in 2 days, your closet's back to
Yeah.
the same disaster.
Yeah, yeah. I really am like a sticker for trying to coach my clients on how to keep it. And so far I have a really good success rate, especially in the home organizing set clients who I've organized their pantries or their closets, they still look great. They still look. I mean, of course, you go grocery shopping, you kind of get stuff out of order, but the foundation is there. They know the cans go here, sodas go here, and people who have never had an organized closet or pantry are able to keep it organized, and I feel so proud of them because I know that's changing a habit.
Hmm.
Yeah,
But I think that goes into productivity too. When you talk about you got two little kids, right?
mhm.
Daphne and I have no little kids at home anymore. Well, I never did, but she did. But any of those type of things, your kids, dogs, pets, your husband, whatever else it is, the more of that energy you can take off your mental plate, the more is available to put back into what you really want to do.
Yeah,
Your business, you're enjoying your life, but spending time with your kids, or you can fight with the fact that you have ketchup, but you can't freaking find it,
yeah,
right? Or that the closet's a wreck, like whatever. Like all that disorganization goes into this is something now on your mental plate as opposed to the other things that you really want.
yeah, yeah. I often talk about the invisible to-do list that exists with disorganization. So you're sitting at the table with your family, you're eating, you're trying to enjoy dinner, everybody's together. But you, as a parent, is looking over at the pile of letters on the counter, and you're making it to do this. Oh, I need to do that. I need to check the mail. I need to pay this bill. Or you look over here at the rack of books and clothes and things that are like piled over there. You're making a mental to do list. I need to go to the cleaners. I need to do this. And so now you're not focused. You're not present because you're
Yeah, you're
making
not there.
this invisible to do list is sitting there. And you know what else you feel? Guilty. You feel overwhelmed. Like it's not even anything that's detrimental. I mean, who cares? As a pile of papers, but you're making it bigger than what it has to be because of this disorganization, and you can't be present. So forget the physical aesthetics of organization. What about your peace? What about you being present with your family? That's more important than anything. And so I often talk about the results of getting organized and more productive are mental. Like you said, there are things that are going to happen now that wasn't able to happen because you have a more organized space.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I know with because you're talking about organization. On the end with money is automation helps
Mm,
because you're talking about that with mail.
yep.
The more things you can get your money to do automatically, the much easier it is on you, and the more likely these things are to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So whether it be savings or paying down debt, if these things can be automatic, even spending.
Yeah.
If you can have that, this is what I do in this account. The
Mhm.
money in this account is this, and this account does that. Um, so
Yeah.
the automation and the worry free of it. I'm not thinking about it.
The
Less
less
mind brain
decisions
in
you
the
have to make,
yeah.
Yeah. Like
right?
if it's getting paid and you don't have to worry about it, it kind of takes it off your plate for sure. Yeah.
Yes. Stephanie and I have had several long discussions about decision fatigue. But I
Oh
think
yeah.
Yeah.
organization can really go into that decision fatigue, right? So I spent 10 minutes trying to find that article. So now I'm pissed because I can't
Right.
find.
And the
And
creativity is shot.
and I'm like, okay, this should take me 5 minutes, and my creativity is shot, right?
Yeah.
So an hour later, I get the whole thing done. Still haven't found it. I get home and it's laying underneath a couple of papers. I printed it out.
Okay.
So I'm like, you know, but when you take in all those habits where you're no longer having to make the choices already made, right? The choice is made that this is saved in this file folders,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
that's where it is. The choice is made that I save this amount of money every month because it just comes out of my check,
Mhm.
right?
Right.
The choice is made if I bring in a whole bag of groceries, it gets put away and it gets put away now.
Yeah.
So all those habits to where it's amazing just how much mental, emotional calm it brings. Like, I always used to brag about being so unorganized, right? Like, oh, I'm just never going to be an organized person. And I am not by nature an organized person. But that's why systems go into place, right? So I don't have to do it for myself. Because if you're relying on me to organize, Lord have mercy.
That's
But
not
if you can put me into a system that goes, that I can handle, then I can do it.
Yeah, and don't feel the organizer, I rely on systems too, and I'm a naturally organized person. But Lord, like I said, it's you need them. You just need them to make life easier. No matter if
Oh
you're
yeah.
organized or not, like they just
Yeah.
make life so much better. So
Particularly when you have children in your life. Pardon me,
absolutely,
as many of our listeners do, because we're women, moms fit in there, and those people they don't fit in. they don't
those
they don't
people.
they don't they don't get sick on time. They don't fit in. So
No,
you have to organize as much as you can as a parent.
yeah,
You have to. And
yeah,
then business, then you throw in business owner. They don't because they're up in the middle of the night, they're sick, or
yeah,
whatever it is. Or
yeah.
they decide we're gonna smear lotion from the foyer to the
Like,
den. Yeah.
I didn't
You know
tell
that by experience, Stephanie?
Oh,
yeah, that's
dude, for real?
coming from a different
Okay.
place
Oh
from me.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
You found mommy's stash of chocolate. Oh dear.
yes, yes, yes,
We got to work on that. Okay.
Yeah. But
So
I
this,
say, give yourself some grace. Kids,
yes,
they're just gonna be kids. Most what
yeah,
I found as
that's
a
it.
professional mom, wife, and entrepreneur, people are very compassionate about my situation and
Hmm.
how I have to, be flexible. And it has not hindered my credibility or anything when I have to adjust because of my kids. And I extend the same grace to clients. I had a client, we were gonna start their kids' room in August before, no, July before school. We didn't finish to December because COVID and vacations and work travel. I mean, it was just drawn out so much. And I'm like, that's life, it is what it is. But I think that life is easier when you are organized and productive. That I
Yes.
do know. It makes it you make your my husband talks about he's a medical guy, the rate limited step. You know that term, rate limited. Okay, I don't know if that seems like a medical thing, but it makes it like you don't want to make that be the rate limited step, basically. What can you do to like shorten that learning curve? So
Mhm.
like that's
Right.
it. So
Yeah, I mean, I go back to decision fatigue, right? You put so much stuff in here that you're already overwhelmed before you start, right? So what's the least amount?
mhm.
What's the least amount I need? What's the least amount I need to do? Like I've talked to the organizers before, and they're like, this big, huge plan. I'm like, I will never do that.
Yeah. That's
Like,
Right.
like
like
easy.
what he's saying. What are the least amount of things that I need to do that?
Yeah.
Which is fold the clothes when they come out of the dryer.
Boom.
That's the secret to being a mom. Uh, fold the clothes when they come out the dryer.
You heard
Because
it here, people.
once they
That-
go in that basket, okay, now you're living out of the basket.
Now they may sit for a while.
You
I like
will.
that decision fatigue. I saw when I first heard of that term. I saw this mom. It wasn't even an octomom. She had like 12 arms coming out, and it was all these things she had to balance
Mhm.
because she was just making decisions, and it was
Hmm.
or just a woman. Period. All the stuff you have to do. So yeah,
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So yeah. So just I get it because when I would put forth the effort in the front end, and and my time in corporate and the military confirmed it. You put some time in on the front end developing some systems, it helps you on the back end.
absolutely.
Um, so your things are there because there's nothing worse. Well, to get into an evolution, whether it's business or otherwise, an important or a piece is missing because you didn't pack it, because you didn't set aside time to pack. Okay, night before or make a list, something that just helps you out there. So I totally concur, and I've written down some things where we were talking on my personal side that I'm going to going to get done. So
Yeah, great, great. And I know you mentioned a lot of your listeners are parents. And I would say um, don't be afraid to create these habits with your kids. You'd be surprised on things they pick up on if you start
yes,
showing them how to organize. And it becomes a part of their life as well. We were going out of town. You talked about the packing checklist. We went out of town for my in between Christmas and New Year, and my son on his own wheel. He's 6. He went and wrote down a checklist of all the things we're gonna make sure we pack. And I'm like, he's seen me do this.
That's awesome.
And it was fun. I mean, he got a lot of good things, but the fact that his little head is like, okay, I gotta be organized. I gotta have everything that I need. I was just like, this is what I love to see. Like they are learning how to be more productive and organized. Like they're watching by example. So even if you think they're not watching and you take on this organizing productivity lifestyle as a parent, your kids will pick it up. I mean, I think a lot of them will see some of the value in it and try to keep it going. So
Well, it's better to learn that habit at 6 than 26, 36,
oh yeah,
46, right? Like
yeah.
that's a nice habit to impart to your kids. Like just take a little bit of time, little bit of planning and
Yeah, yeah,
yeah. Saves heartburn on the other end.
I agree.
yeah.
Mhm.
Saves quite a bit of heartburn on the other end. So, we got to talking, we jumped into organization talk real early. So look, give us, you mentioned that you were corporate America So, give us a bit of the origin story of Day Smith.
Sure, sure. So, I've always been that quintessential star student. I'm like the girl who always made good grades and did the right things and tried to make my mama proud. So I was always, um, just checking the box, go to school, go to college, get good grades, get a good job. And eventually I did that. So I'm sitting here in my 20s, married, with one kid, actually in a newborn, and I'm in this job, and I'm traveling, I'm doing all these things, and I just didn't feel fulfilled. It's like I'm like, what is missing? What is missing in my life to where I should be so grateful, I should be so happy, I have all these things, right? And I just didn't feel fulfilled. And I remember in college I had stumbled upon this organization of people who organize for a living. And I'm like, they do that? Like, I've always done that. I can really vibe with them. And so I remembered the passion and the excitement around having my own business, being able to hire people, being able to take clutter and change it into beautiful spaces, helping people be more productive. So all these wonderful things. But of course I was afraid. I was like, no, no, no. I got to do the right thing. Let me just settle back into my job. Let me settle back into my life. And I actually had a job change. So they laid me off.
Mm.
How
The
dare they?
universe sent you a gift.
I was like, wait a minute. I'm glad you said that because immediately I was furious. I was like, how dare they lay me off? Like, I am the star rep here. But a few days passed. I'm like, you know what? This is God's way of pushing me forward. And it made me really take my entrepreneurial path seriously. So I ended up doing so much in my severance time, right? Creating my business, creating my business plan, LLC, everything, getting all my ducks in a row. And when I entered back into corporate America, I had now had this side hustle, this this business idea that was flourishing. And so for the past 2.5 years, I've been balancing my corporate life, my family life, and my entrepreneur life as a professional organizer, as a productivity coach, and now a digital organizer. And I'm on a mission to really help other people like myself, either know that you can also be organized, even if you're not the organized person, and seek for more productivity and more efficiency in your life so that you can get time back, get money back, get peace of mind back in your life. And I've also published 2 books, one of which is a #1 Amazon bestseller, which I'm
Nice.
Er,
proud. And I've also been become an international speaker as well. So I'm trying to spread my message across different platforms so that I can encourage other people to get organized and clear away the clutter, whatever that looks like, so that you can be and live in your best potential. So
What's
that's
the name of the books?
so my first book is Your Home's Love Language. It's a simple tip guide to organizing and declutter any area in your home. I took a nod from Gary Chapman in his study of love languages and saying that
Mhm.
organization is your home's love language. It's how you show your home love and it gives it back to you. That was published in May. That's available on Amazon and my website, as well as my new book is an anthology. It's called Moms Who Boss Up. And so I collaborated with a Women in Vision International, to bring together stories of 16 other moms who are professionals, entrepreneurs, and our story of how we've bossed up in the midst of a pandemic to really elevate our business, elevate our brands, and encourage others in the midst of this crazy times. And that book is an Amazon bestseller. So I'm
Nice.
excited about that as well.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank
yeah,
you.
it's great.
Thank you.
Moms Who Boss Up.
Moms Who Boss Up. And now that book, that series has women who boss up, women of color who boss up, Asian women, women in tech. I bet there's a women in finance coming out soon, Daphne.
Okay, there we go.
Everybody is, I feel like this is a community where if anyone is wanting to be an author, but they may not have the time, they're kind of like, oh, how do I make that happen? This is a great platform to make that come to life. The
And what's the platform?
women who boss up.
Oh, that's the platform?
It is. And so
Okay.
my book was the fifth installment. They've already written two after my book, Latinas Who Boss Up and Women Who Boss Up in post pandemic. And so every a few books come out a year. She gathers women who are passionate about a certain topic, bring them together, interview them. We have summits, we have book tours, we have mentorship,
Oh,
community.
that's awesome.
It's really great. And so anyone I'm like, thinking, yeah, I want to be the author, but how do I make that happen? I guide them that way because I think that's a great way for you to, be a published author. So
And where do you find that? Is that just on the interwebs or?
yes, well, see, I actually have an affiliate link for Women Who
Oh,
Boss
awesome.
I can share with y'all, but
Yes,
uh,
that'd be great. We'll put it in the show notes.
yeah, yeah, that'd be great. Okay, I'll send that to you guys.
Cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to write a book and really get it out there. So if you have somebody behind you, I mean, that's super helpful.
yeah. My first book was the old school way. I guess I just got up early, went to bed late, and hammered it out, and it was 78 pages. It wasn't even a big book. My second book, I decided to go a different route, and it was a much easier, manageable schedule. Plus, I have all these other benefits of the community and
Hmm.
the promotion and all that good
Yeah, I have
stuff.
a book and it's languishing away on Amazon right now.
Oh no, you can revive it. Let's figure out how we can, it's not
Get
dead.
some juice into it.
Yeah, yeah. What's your book called, Roberta?
10 myths for businesses to, God, what's even the title of my book? 10 myths for businesses who want to differentiate.
10 myths.
Myths.
Myths. Oh, I love
Yes.
that. Myths. Okay, good, good, good.
See it laying around here somewhere. Um, yeah, it's kind of hard because business books are like a business card now, right? And you get a lot of books from people that they've written that are just total crap. Like, why was
Yeah,
this even written? Whatever. So I did not. I wanted to write a book to have something authority positioning or whatever, but I wanted to be proud of what I wrote. So I was caught somewhere between trying to write some kind of manifesto and like just writing enough in a book so somebody could see I know what the heck I'm talking about. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It is hard. They are like a business card, but my publisher said that 80% of people say that they have a story within them, but only like 2% of people actually write a book. So you should be proud of the fact that you even have a book. Like that's still a huge accomplishment and a legacy that you're leaving. Um, so even if it's sitting there, you have a book. That's awesome.
It's true.
You
Thank you.
know, yeah, be proud of that. Absolutely.
Yes. My co-host has a book. It's awesome.
Yes.
Because
Right.
I
Admit.
know how much work I put into just doing an ebook that's about 17 pages. No, it's not no, it's like 12 pages. I know how the
Yeah,
sweat that took.
you
So
awesome.
let's alone
Go ahead. Look at us.
to have
Yeah,
actually
you got
done
your
a
little
what
ebook.
I call a book, it's okay.
Yeah.
And you've got two of them. So particularly with your organizing,
Mhm.
so you say you found a group. So was that a business within itself or it was a professional association of
Yeah.
organizers? What was that
In
like?
college, I discovered the National Association of Professional Organizers. Now they're called the National Association of Productivity and Organization. It's an international
Okay.
organization.
Hmm.
They certify you. You can be a certified PO, a professional organizer. They have courses, awesome courses, like on different topics.
Mhm.
Productivity, virtual business organization. They specialize in teaching you how to work with people with chronic disorganization, ADHD, hoarding tendencies. Like we really get into the psychology of disorganization. And then there's chapters in the different cities. There's Houston.
Mhm.
There's chapters internationally. We have a national conference coming up in April. So I'm a part of that. Then I'm also a part of the National Association of Black Professional Organizers, and that has been around for 3 years. And that is obviously more catered to a certain demographic, but we have allies within NAPO, and we cultivate and encourage our community of Black professional organizers. There's about 100 members in it. So far, we're growing, and I serve as the professional education chair. So I'm always bringing in resources for us to learn about how to grow our business, how to be
Nice.
excellent in our craft, you know?
Yeah. So how are you going about getting people to know about Dave Smith and Simplicity by Day?
Yes. So originally I started with my small network of family and friends, obviously. Everyone knows I organize. It's just like, oh, of
Mhm.
course, she has a business now. She's been
And
organized.
now she wants you to pay her.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. And so immediately when I started my business, I said I want to be a great organizer, but I want to be an excellent marketer, right? Like I knew that that was the key.
Hmm.
Because you can have a great idea, but if no one knows about it, who cares? So I hired a digital marketer to help me with my websites and funnels and social media presence. And so that's really what kicked it off for me. At first, I was probably making the wrong decisions and what I invested in and the coaching and where I was putting my time. I had some learning curves, but eventually I discovered that here in Houston or in my market, maybe it's the same for you guys, the real value in growing your business is local marketing, like connecting with people who are business owners locally that can refer you. The networking and relationship marketing is gold in small business
Hmm.
And so I joined a local networking group, which is where we met, ladies, networking action,
Hmm. Hmm.
and teamed up with a mentor, and that has really expanded my business exponentially. I'm using a lot of big words, but
Yeah.
to because now I have joint venture partnerships. I have people advocates who sell my business for me. Oh, I know an organizer, or I know a productivity coach, and that has been the differentiator for me from starting out and trying to do it myself versus partnering with people to grow my business. So I do a lot of speaking. I do a lot of networking. My book. I join podcasts, hey, summits,
Mhm.
and different
Hmm.
things to get myself out there and just try to be intentional with my social media marketing with
Hmm.
groups and DMs and videos and things to draw people to my brand and then provide very good content when I'm trying to educate because I know people want to learn how to do things before they want to see the value you bring before they purchase with you. So I do try to offer that.
Nice.
Mhm.
We call it the Swiss cheese approach. Each one of those has a hole in them, but when you stack it, you're
I
good to
like
go.
I like that the Swiss cheese approach. Yep, it's no perfect way. It's like just try.
Yeah, you gotta.
I like Swiss cheese approach. That's cool.
Yeah, I think the temptation now is just to go straight digital. Everything's got to be digital. Like there's a whole real world out there of people who want to feel and touch you and meet you and get to know you. So the networking, the hyper local. I mean, even on social media, marketing hyper local differentiates yourself from what 95% of the other people out there.
Hmm.
Just being hyper local. The JV partners, that's always a great business boost as well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've learned. I didn't know that that's how it worked because I thought you got to be on social media. You got to have 100,000 followers. You gotta, post every day, all day, and that doesn't work for my business.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
you know,
Well,
Yeah, it's a part.
the mixture of the human part is real important because I know paid networking. Uh, well, one, we've been locked in the house for quite some time period, but it is a integral part. You have to get back out there.
hmm.
So, are you in a local group? Are you guys meeting up, or are you guys still virtual?
Yeah, I actually have I meet up with networking action groups. Now I'm doing more virtual with them because I'm in a different platform, and I have these virtual productivity packages that can
Hmm.
work for everyone, so I don't have to
Right.
do
Mhm.
anything locally. But I network with local chambers, local women entrepreneur groups. Some of them are hybrid, but more
Hmm.
people are starting to get more in person. I attend some of the citywide networking groups like in the area that I live in. Some of the
Hmm.
realtor group meetings I go to. As much as I can go to where I can get a babysitter, That's really, can I get a babysitter? And then I'm like, I'm there. But the lunchtime meetings are really great. Or sometimes I just set up like a one-to-one. I'll find someone who I want to meet with.
Hmm.
You'd be surprised how far that can go. Just hitting them up in the DMs and say, hey, compliment
Right.
them, say something about their business. I love to, meet with you. Don't sell them or ask for nothing. You just want to connect. And
Right.
I care more about that. Even if you don't buy anything from me or you don't buy my services, I am a connector at heart. And I love to just learn about you and, understand your story. Maybe we'll do business together, maybe we won't. But it enriches me knowing more about you for some reason. I don't know.
Right.
That's just how I work.
No, it does. It does. It just and thinking how you can be of service to them. Do I
Exactly.
know someone it would be great if you spoke to and
Yep.
things of that nature. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
so that's the real deal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you never know who people know
Yep.
No,
either. Yeah,
right. Right. We're what is it? 6 degrees of connection, pretty much.
something like that, right?
Especially those of us that are in business. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. We know
Well,
each
just
other
putting
from
good
some.
energy out there too, right, Daph?
Oh
Got to
yeah,
get that
that's the
right.
key.
Good,
That's the key. Putting good
good
energy
energy.
out there.
Yeah.
That's what the podcast is about. But
Yes. I love it.
Day, it's been great to have you here. We want to be respectful of your time. You know,
Yeah.
uh, let you enjoy some peace and quiet while the babies are at school.
And you're going to give us the links for where we can find.
Yes, yeah.
The Boss Up books,
Yes,
how to be an author, how to meet with me one on one.
yes,
Perfect.
definitely.
I'll get that
Because
to
you may need to climb into my digital files.
you.
You or someone like you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
Yeah.
sounds like a plan.
All right. How can I
yeah.
help you, ladies?
Because my stuff has started to pile up too, so I got to get
Uh-oh.
in there. And
Well, I
yeah,
also
yeah.
have the problem if I change computers, right? So I have all this stuff on my old computer, which I downloaded to a thingy, right?
Yep.
But
Hmm.
I need to put it on the new computer or somewhere where I can access it from the new computer because there's so much content in there. But then this is already a mess
Oh no.
on the
I
new
like
computer.
it there because organizing will be a lot easier because it's in one place and you can just shuffle it around. I
Oh,
sometimes do that when I want to organize. I'll just move it there and then it's just easier to look at one thing and shuffle it around than having to go in multiple places.
Oh
So
yeah.
interesting.
a good
I bought extra space. Uh, what they call it's called OneDrive now. The
yep,
Windows. Google had the same thing, but
yes.
where that's my C drive because I have multiple computers.
So you
So
store it on the cloud. It's in OneDrive.
Hmm.
right,
Yeah.
right,
Okay.
and it's
All right.
backed up, and they promise not to lose it. So it's
We
it's
hope so.
it's best there. So it right because with multiple computers, because with the podcast and then you've got the one you do carry around with you. That'd be heck if I put
Yeah.
everything on a different C drive. It would
Mhm.
just be
Yeah, that's easier for you can access it anywhere.
right,
I
right.
like Google Drive. I'm a Google nerd, but OneDrive has
Hmm.
add a lot of great features with Microsoft, and so it's actually yeah. I mean, I have experience there because people use Outlook. I have to know
Right,
about both. So
right.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that came from I've been a Windows fangirl for years, so because
Okay.
I come out of IT, so
Windows.
Windows predated Google,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Gotcha.
so
I
that's
have
where I
stuff
cut
in
my
Google
teeth.
Drive too.
Yeah.
So I
Well,
I was with a company for a little bit that had some Google stuff, but you go with what, as you said, you go with what you know.
yeah.
And I knew the Google lingo, I knew the Windows lingo and so forth, and that's kind of the one I stuck with. It's like okay, because
Got it.
everything is in Word or some other Microsoft product,
Hmm.
Mhm. True. True. Yep.
and that kept it easier. But once again, I want to thank you for coming.
This
Thank you.
was great, Dave. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Yes,
lady.
yes.
I
You'll be hearing from us so we can talk about NIA some more.
all right.
I know. Yeah, our mutual friend is real high on it, but I wanted to talk to somebody that was closer to my level of
Okay.
networking
Okay.
expertise.
Got it. Let's talk about it. Of course, I'm here.
Okay, then. Hey, and listeners, thanks for joining us. Bye bye now.
Bye bye. Thank you, guys.
Okay, we're good. Had to do the formal goodbye so Russ knows where to cut it off at. Oh, you talking to your mom? Yeah.
Me?
Yeah. I saw you
No,
look away.
no, I was looking at the timer because it was still going. Is that
Oh, yeah. Well,
what?
okay, it's a formal break for Russ. So he hears
Okay.
us say
Our audio
goodbye.
guy.
Right, our audio guy. But we've learned not to just cut off the tape so quick because sometimes we get into such awesome conversations that they're of later use.
Yeah.
You know,
We've
you
done
Oh,
that before. We're like, we said, "Oh, this was great, blah blah blah. By the way, I meant to ask you this." And like 20 minutes later, we had this fantastic conversation,
oh
and
yeah.
it was not on the record. Like, damn it.
That's happened to me. I'm like, oh, we should have put that in there. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah. So
That's smart. Okay.
yeah, because I know our mutual friend Tony was telling us about NIA National, which is a virtual group she has.
Yeah, I just joined that one. I just because I wasn't a local group, but because Tony's my coach, right?
Hmm.
I'm in her coaching program. It made more sense to stay with her coaching program and get the national membership included than pay
Yeah.
for another because I
Right.
can go to other things. And
I
so,
was
oh, what do you say?
no, I was thinking about doing that, but go ahead. I'm sorry, I interrupted
We
you.
actually meet tonight. I think it's National NIA Networker. All right.
Yeah, she loves that late night stuff, and I hate it. Like that's my dinner time,
Oh
and
yeah,
I don't
I
want a phone on then. Like I'm like
kids running
Tony.
and they just like all over the place. But anytime after 3 is gonna be like that for me. So like I said, I just kind of make it work. You know,
Mm,
yeah, I don't know. There's some NIA groups who meet earlier, but I don't know if they
Yeah.
meet virtually.
they're
Well,
not virtual.
the
Okay.
again, I find a night that I'll cut out for something. Like I'll say, okay, like I'll have a late. Looks like to me now it's starting to be Tuesday, where
Tuesday.
this is happening on Tuesday. I'm doing this, and then I have a couple of in-person events now that are starting to meet up again. Some crypto
Okay.
groups I'm in, Bitcoin
Okay.
rather, and they meet up physically.
Okay.
So, but that's once a month. So, can you bring a guest to the NIA deal?
I know we can bring a guest to. Let me ask Tony to NIA network with the nation. I'm
Right,
asking
Hmm.
the national one.
yes to the so the in network across the nation is like everybody in any NIA group across the country. Those are
Right.
great. And then the group I'm in is NIA network. It's Tony's group, but it's
The
not just
virtual one.
yes. So that's two different. The one tonight is
Yeah.
Tony's group across the
That's virtual.
yes.
No, that's across the country.
Yeah, virtual.
Virtual is national, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And then you've got the local groups that have started meeting up again, like Humble or
Yeah, Humble.
Cypress
I
or
was in
Woodlands.
Memorial. I was gonna say
Right.
there was one in the Woodlands. I really like it's North Houston. I really like that group. And they met in the morning, but I like I said, I don't think they don't have a virtual.
Right.
But I know Scott, the CEO, was saying he would love to have virtual NIA meetings happening all day, like so that you can attend and meet people. So I think that's
Hmm.
coming later because he knows everyone may not want to meet in the evening or whatever.
Mhm.
You want to create,
Hmm.
so that may be coming soon.
I talked
Is
to
it
Tony about running one of my own. She's like, "Well, if you don't want to do mine, do you want to run one of your own?" And it's been recommended to me quite a bit as a coach. Like,
Yeah,
that's a great way to get clients. But I'm like, okay, that's fine, but I need people who are on. Like, no offense to anybody who's a small business, but plumbers don't pay for coaches. You know what I mean? But they're also not going to be on a virtual. I think I would be able to have more
in person.
service-based business, I think is what I need to focus to
Yeah,
drive that to.
yeah. Well. I mean, she has a lot of realtors. Obviously, there's always realtors, but there's a lot of coaches, consultants. Um, yeah, people who are coaches and consultants in different areas. That's who we
Mhm.
aim to attract. Um,
In the virtual one?
or just an NIA period. Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm a part of another group called Quench Collective, and it's national. And there are like thousands of young, like entrepreneurs, like 6, 7 figures. Like they are just blowing up
oh,
because
yeah. Yeah.
service providers, they have VA agencies, they do
Yeah.
content marketing.
Yeah.
I
That
mean,
whole,
they're like in their
those
20s.
yeah,
They
they're
went to
Gen
college to do
Ys.
work. I
Yeah.
don't know, but they're like
Yeah.
6 figures. They got
Yeah, when they
teams.
decide they're gonna do something, they
Oh,
it
I'm so
becomes like
impressed.
boom.
I feel like an old lady. I'm like, "Oh my
Oh,
god."
yeah. Yeah,
Young
when they get
folks
focused.
are killing it.
I I found a lady, Erica Williams. I found her on YouTube,
Okay.
and she's in Austin now. And just watching her videos, I'm like, okay, this chick is like, okay, real estate, this, that, a pallet company. I'm doing trucking. It's like, okay.
Yeah, they. I
Hmm.
mean, I love that though because it's inspiring. I mean, my nieces and nephews are in that age, and
Mm.
they go to college, but they have no interest in working for a company. They're all like, "What is my business gonna be? I'm gonna
Well,
be
that's one of the things with them. They have no
Hmm.
interest in working for somebody
no."
because when they want to go have dinner or go kick it with their friends, they want to go kick it with their friends.
I
And
love it. Do it.
and originally many of us, I thought, oh, you just don't want, no, 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 no. They want to produce income on their terms. They
Hmm.
clearly understand they must produce income, but it's going to be on their terms.
Hmm.
So therefore, I need to have a company.
Yeah,
Because when we going on the lake, we going on the lake. That's what's
yeah,
happening today.
yeah.
you know?
You
Yeah.
know,
Well, if you think about it, the whole when you come out of school, the jobs that are available or whatever, it's just not that appealing.
mm-mm,
No. And
You
the type
know.
of stuff that we accepted, I'm a Gen Xer, that
hmm
we accepted coming out of school, they not. They're because we accepted hitting the road. We not gonna be home that much. I got a pager.
yeah,
They
Yeah.
like, no.
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
The
And by the way, you're starting at
millennial,
base salary.
Right.
yes.
We are day drinking today. So it's
Oh yeah,
it's no
that's
use you
true.
calling me because
That's
I'm
true.
not coming. So
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
gonna take a break and come back to it. They
yeah.
got to be a part of something bigger too. Like they have to feel like
Right. They have to feel it, yeah.
part of
And
something
Yeah.
bigger.
yeah, right.
You can't
Yeah,
just
but
say,
we were raised by a generation that was it don't matter what you want, you do what you need to do. That's who we were raised by. So,
Right. Right.
break out and say, well, I don't want to do that anymore. Well,
Yeah. I
you get
think
a whole lot.
also,
I don't know who you think you are out of that.
yeah,
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 with them, they saw us go through '08. They saw us go through
Yeah.
'08 and they're like, nah,
yeah,
because
because you
'08
put
was
all
no
this
joke.
time into it, and people were let go and just I mean, I talked about my story. How I had the same thought, and it wasn't until I got laid off on a
Right.
whim, like that, it shifted my mindset.
Hmm.
Sure.
And I still have this work ethic to work hard, but now I am just going to work just as hard for myself.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
it's just that's where I'm at right now. I'm making the shift, and I think I mean, to each on. You want to work 9 to 5 forever, that's great. But if you want to be an entrepreneur and put that time in, that's also great too. So,
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, because the COVID has shifted everything. So
yeah,
I know that's a cliche now, but it's changed something. We don't even know what it's done because we've never seen anything like our generations have never seen anything like this. Last time they had a worldwide pandemic was over 100 years ago.
Was
So there's nobody here
1918.
that can tell you what it was like. But I know it shifted everything. Hit the great resignation. People are nope,
yep.
no, not going back to work.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I'm not
But don't you
going.
think it just accelerated what was already going to happen?
I think it gave
So,
when you shut it down for that amount of time period, because even though like Texas cracked open early, Texas still was shut down for a year.
Pretty much.
And
Yeah.
you made people have to think about what they were doing and they had to figure something out. They
yeah,
had to, and they may have discovered, ooh, I'm smart enough. You know what? I'm smart enough. I don't have to do this. We can live, I can house hack and rent out one of them rooms so I can have more choice about this, or I can plant a garden. I mean, it just brought out different for everyone. It made something different.
yeah,
And when you're saying that I'm not going back to washing dishes, or you're going to pay me a lot more to wash dishes now, I'll go back to washing dishes, but
But
I'm
not
not
for
washing dishes for
7.25 an
that.
hour.
Right.
yeah, yeah.
I'll wash dishes for this,
It really
or
Yeah.
I figured out,
that situation too. The small business owners who are used to paying
oh, yeah.
pay.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate because the restaurant owners already had a tough deal was
Right,
to close down, and now you have to
right,
hire people back at a
right.
higher rate when you're trying to.
Right,
Yep.
because it wasn't just that they were being, Simon Legree and stingy. That was the way their profit margins
Yeah,
were.
yeah,
They were very thin to start with. But like I said, I have women who've discovered they can take their car and just deliver packages
yeah,
and make sure rent and food and still home when the babies get off from school.
yep, yep.
Problem there is
So
they don't get health insurance. You got a lot of uninsured, but
again, I think the being pushed to the brink in many cases. Human beings we're resilient and we're thinking and we'll figure it out. And that's what it did. It just you need to figure something out. You
Yeah, because
need to figure
some of those
something out.
companies that were letting go the employees, like the restaurants, they weren't offering them health insurance anyway. So
Mm-mm,
no,
mm,
that's true. They
you
didn't have
no.
any of that.
I
Guys,
just
I gotta go. I got an appointment.
Okay,
go
you're
ahead.
right.
Jay, it was
And
so nice to
I
see
can
you.
talk
I
all
will hit
day.
you up about that digital
Okay,
organizational
perfect.
stuff.
Okay,
All righty.
Jeff,
Hey,
I'll talk to you later.
you guys want me to
okay.
email you my links, or how you want me to get it?
Please email,
Yep,
put both our
that'd be
names on
awesome.
there.
Yep.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. All right,
Okay.
guys.
Thank you,
Bye bye.
ma'am.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.